All right, thanks everyone for joining us today. We just want to do a quick overview of our ProspectEngage CRM platform, which you can see here on the screen. My name is Dylan Roberts. I'm the Director of ProspectEngage at Comoin Associates, and I have Garrett on the line with me as well.
I'm the Platform Development Specialist for ProspectEngage and Comoin Associates.
Great, thanks, Garrett. Yeah, so we're just going to walk through and just do a high-level overview of the platform. So this is really built for economic developers. It's built for the work that economic developers do on a daily basis. We wanted to make it as user-friendly and simple as possible for somebody that is in economic development to use. I know that there's a lot of platforms out there that are a little bit difficult. They're not as user-friendly and kind of overbuilt in many ways. We find that this, makes things really user-friendly and really simple for economic development professionals to use. So you see here on the dashboard page, this is the main page of the platform, which summarizes information. There's really two main sections. We have the business retention and expansion side, and then we have the prospecting and business attraction side. So on the BR&E side, you can see some of the different information that you can track, and it just summarizes this information on the main page. So companies that need outreach, companies that you're supporting, companies that have been flagged at risk, new surveys that have been completed, leases that are going to be expiring in the next 6 months. You can take some quick actions like adding a company or a contact directly from the screen. And then we also have the prospecting and business attraction side. You can see we track our clients' website activity. So you can see sort of the website visits from the previous 24 hours. You can see new inquiries that have come in over the last 7 days, any prospects that are awaiting outreach based on what stage they are in the pipeline, any new leads that have been identified and that have that in conversation stage. And then qualified opportunities. So it's just a way to summarize some of the information across the entire platform. I'll just go into one of the cool features that we have that we really like, which is the AI prospects feature. So this concept is really that we want to be able to generate a highly qualified, highly signal-based list using AI. And it's also connected to our proprietary database of companies. And it goes out and it scans for real-time signals. Signals include things like major contract wins, hiring surges, new funding, revenue milestones. You can see there's others such as partnership acquisitions. You can filter by industry. You can filter by location. You can filter by how many employees the company has. And then you can actually see the companies on here. You can generate a list on demand, and then you can add those prospect companies to the prospects section of the platform very easily. You can see their website, when they were added, what the source was, why they were added based on the signal. All of that information is available to you there. And we just try to make it easy for you to identify new prospects. And then you can actually schedule these. You can schedule these reports. And you can do up to 2 reports per week. And then it's going to come through and notify you that you have a new report at, I believe, 9 a.m. On that day that you schedule it. So that's a great feature. You can see we also have a to-do list, any recent activity that you show. I'll go over to another section here, which is the metrics section. And I'll let Garrett kind of just give an overview of the metrics section.
Yes, so on the metrics component here, you'll see we have a list of different KPIs or key performance indicators. And as you can see, there's a big list of them. They're kind of separated into 2 different modules. We have prospecting and BR&E. Depending on what version of the CRM you have will determine what metrics you're able to track. You're able to toggle there to see the KPIs that belong to each category. And this is just a way to keep track of your data and key targets that you might be hitting while using this tool. And there's different ways to view these metrics as well. Like Dylan showed, there's bar graphs at the bottom, and then a table underneath that kind of gives you the monthly breakdown of your different KPIs over various months throughout the year.
Yeah, you can change the date range. You can select whatever date range you want, and then click apply, and then it's going to change obviously based on the KPIs during that specific date range. And you can see the graphs and everything change on the numbers and the metrics. And then we have an AI insights tool here, which is another great use of AI. So we can generate an analysis, again, using the custom date range, using the exact date range that we selected. It's going to go through and it's going to analyze all of those different KPIs and those metrics to help us understand in just a better way, the analysis of the capital investment, the job creation, the website, BR&E engagement. It's going to show actual projections as well, which is very interesting. So the more you use this, the more kind of information it's going to have to be able to produce these projections. So it's projecting, a certain number of capital investment by September of 2026 based on the previous year's metrics. Same thing with jobs created, leads, website visitors. And then it just highlights some of the actual highlights from the previous year, like the best month for capital investment, the best month for job creation, and the highest month for website traffic. And then it just gives us some alerts as well. So it looks like, investment dropped to $0 in April and May. So that was kind of a concerning flag that it identified. You could download this. You can download that into a nice little report. Or you can build out your own report. And so this is a really nice feature. You can name the report, you can set that date range that I showed you, and then you can choose exactly which metrics you want to track and to include in that report. You can select all, or you can select just certain metrics that maybe apply to you specifically. And then you can then create a report using those metrics. So it's a nice little preview, and you can actually see the preview of the report here. If I select all, you'll see more. And it summarizes all of that information, and then you can actually export that into an Excel or a PDF, depending on which format you want. The idea here is just to make it really easy for you to track metrics, to report to your boards and stakeholders, so that when you are giving them updates and information, it's really nice to have some actual data that's really easy for the platform to track. But I know for many EDOs, it's very difficult to track this information across all the various platforms that many EDOs use. So this helps to centralize all of the data into one location and just make it more efficient. All right, next thing we'll go into is just a quick overview of the website visitors section. Garrett, if you want to just talk about that as well.
Yeah, so this is kind of the foundation for PE. We did website tracking for clients. And as you can see, that's kind of what we're doing here, but at a much higher level. It'll show you the visitation of the companies to your website. It'll assign an automated lead score based on a variety of factors, such as, if they're a repeat visitor, how much time they spend on your site, whether they're one of your target industries, and it'll assign a score out of 20. And you can see that it lists them in descending order there with your highest lead scores at the top. And then you can also click on a company from that table, and you can see different details and metrics about that specific company that visited your site. So you can see like the description of the company, the website, and other information such as sector, NAICS, and different location data as well. We also have this feature, another AI feature built in that uses AI to find contacts to these website visitors. That way, if we don't have a contact associated with a website visitor, literally at the click of a button, you'll be able to find current contacts for that company and see different information about those contacts, such as their job title, phone number, LinkedIn, email, and so forth. You're also able to filter by the employee position as well. Right now you can see Dylan has it set to executives only, but by using that drop down there, you can switch it to all employees to give you a broader net of contacts.
Yeah, and for the most part, I know that most EDOs are going to be focused on those C-suite executives, but there are times where it might be useful for you to find managers or directors or other titles beyond just the C-suite. And so that's the concept, is if we have that available, AI is able to help us pull that in. We have a very robust database where we track all of this information, and we try to keep as many contacts and company information as possible. But it's a nice feature to be able to pull in additional contacts when we don't have it available. And you can see exactly what pages a company visited if you want to view that information. You can see how many times they visited, exactly where they originated from, which is really nice to be able to just track all of that kind of activity. And then you can go to the Insights page, and you can see more of the information as a whole across the entire website visitors for your company, for your organization, excuse me. And then what we'll touch on next is the tracking of actual companies. So this is very foundational, again, to the concept, which is just basically you're able to track companies, whether it's on the BRD side or if it's on the prospecting side. So this is a pretty straightforward section that allows you to track information about that company, has their website description. If you have a lease or if you're tracking a lease expiration date, you can do that. You can put that in here, and you can actually upload the lease document if that is something that you are tracking. You can obviously change the stage or the status of the pipeline, and so you can change that. It's going to be different for the BR&E side compared to the prospecting side. All of the location data, social media, business details is all included. And then if we do have contacts, you'll see contacts in that section. You'll see activity, any emails, notes, or calls that you've tracked will be in that section as well. And then on the prospecting side, it's a little bit more detailed in terms of being able to provide information that is very specific to a prospect. So you can see information like what their plans are for growth, what their location drivers are, if they have a new facility that they're looking for, or utility or transportation requirements, how many jobs it would create, all of that kind of information can be added. And then you can also track activity and all the other information that I showed as well. And then you can see the stages are just a little bit different for a prospect compared to an existing company. And then we have a separate project section. And this can be used really nicely if you have projects coming in from a state entity, or that you're responding for RFIs and you're not really sure exactly who the company is. If you do have the company, that's great, but this can just be a good way to track them. Or if you have an actual project that lands and converts, whether it's an existing company or a new company, you can track that project activity here, and you can go in and put in like what the average wage rate is, what the required skill sets are. A lot of information can be tracked, different project types. So if it is a new project, if it's an existing company, or if it's a startup, you can create those. And then the phases of the project can be changed here. And we can always customize and make things work a little bit differently for clients. All right, and then just the last thing I think we should touch on would be the surveys. So Garrett, if you want to talk about the BR&E surveys tool.
Yeah, so this is a component we set up to kind of make BR&E more efficient in terms of the survey outreach that we see companies doing. We have a couple built-in survey templates already, but the user also has the ability to create their own custom survey as well. And as you can see here, this is just an example of one of our BR&E templates that we have. So basically, you would get the link to this survey here, send it to your existing industries, existing companies within your area, and you can, send it out in an email. And how it works is they'll respond to the survey. Those answers will be logged to the database remotely. And once they submit that survey, you'll be able to see the responses to those surveys right here. You'll be able to filter by the survey name as well as when that survey was submitted. And this way it just gives you more granular insight onto how each company is answering specific questions. And then we also have this survey analytics component here, which kind of gives you a more detailed spread of how your companies are answering specific questions, just so you can gain better insight on different trends that you're seeing from those responses. And then we also have a AI component to this as well. Instead of manually sifting through whatever surveys you might have received. It could be a handful, it could be hundreds. Obviously, that's going to take time to go through manually and come up with these different trends, big outcomes that you're seeing. So what this does is at the click of a button, it analyzes key takeaways from each survey that's submitted, as well as provides recommendations on how to alleviate any of those concerns that you're seeing in those responses to the surveys. And it provides you a general summary as well of kind of what the general theme that you might be seeing from your survey responses throughout your community.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and this is where you could track something that, maybe somebody's at risk. This is where it kind of flags that is based on the survey responses, and you can update that field on that BRNE company. So it's a really nice feature. Yeah, that's everything we're going to cover today. There's a few other features that we do have in the platform, but we'll cover that at another time. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and have a great day.
Thanks for watching. Bye.